Wendy Ross now joins us with the first alert weather forecast. And Wendy, I did take a beach walk over on Longboat Key this weekend, and it wasn't too bad, but you could kind of smell it here or there, the red tide of the dead fish.
So it's more spotty now.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was.
And we still are having those winds, strong winds moving from the east to the west, and so that's pushing everything out to sea as well.
Oh, good.
And that may also be a factor in keeping Michael off of our coastline and keeping it out into the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay.
So some good things as far as the winds are concerned. But can you believe here we are, lucky 13. Oh my gosh. So 13 storms, named storms. We have 6 hurricanes now for the season because of the 13 storms. 6 did become hurricanes, and Michael is slated to become another hurricane as well, but it's not going to be taking place right away. What we are looking at is that Michael will be moving into the southern Gulf of Mexico on Monday. So this is the timeline. On Tuesday, he becomes a Category 1 hurricane, and on Wednesday, he'll be intensifying before landfall, and that will be probably near the panhandle of Florida. So that's what we're watching, and of course this is the system right here. This is the enhanced satellite imagery, and we do have hurricane hunters going in to explore the system once again. It's moving towards the north-northeast right now, very slowly. Here's the satellite view as well, and you can see it's starting to show signs of organization, and now as the evening hours wear on, we're seeing less visibility of that satellite. But this is what it's going to be doing, 50-mile-per-hour winds right now, and as I mentioned, it's moving very slowly right here between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba, and it's moving on towards the north-northeast, and it looks as though by Tuesday we're going to be seeing a Category 1 hurricane, and then because it's moving much up into the panhandle of Florida, by Wednesday we could see a Category 2. And keep in mind, we just don't have any wind shear going on here in the Gulf of Mexico. The water temperatures are nice and warm, and so that's allowing for this system to intensify before it moves into the panhandle of Florida, and that would take place sometime on Wednesday. So that's the present tracking, and most of the models agree with that. You can see it moving into the Gulf and then moving more towards the northeast as it moves across the panhandle, and then eventually it's going to be moving across the southeastern part of the country before it moves out into the Atlantic, the northern Atlantic. Now the GFS model is showing the timeline here to be right parallel with us by Tuesday, and then this is the time that we're expecting it to become a hurricane, and then once it hits just right into the bay here, right off of the panhandle of Florida, we're expecting it to become a Category 2, and it will be making landfall on Wednesday according to this model. But the European model is going about a day later. So it's about 24 hours behind, and you can see that on Wednesday it's expected to be parallel with us, and then by Thursday we're going to be seeing it making landfall before it moves off towards the southeast part of the country. And again, we are going to recommend that you continue to download that app, for the weather app, and also pay attention to what's going on in the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days, because as you know, these tracks can change, the intensity can change, the timelines can change. That's the way it's looking right now. And we're just taking a real quick look at Leslie. We can't believe we're still talking about Leslie. She's been out here for weeks and weeks. She is going to become a hurricane, and that is likely to happen Thursday, when she'll see about 75-mile-per-hour winds. Now, we also had all of this moisture streaming on in across central and south Florida today. Most of that, of course, emanating right here from our tropical storm Michael, and you can see all of that spillage, and this is all in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but it helped to establish a couple more showers that moved on across the region, and you can see everything moving from the east to the west, so we've got those easterly winds that are pushing things offshore. Very widely scattered thunderstorms right now taking place, and just keep in mind, if you are heading to the beach tomorrow, small craft advisories are going to be in effect through Wednesday. We are looking at winds out of the east at 20 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, and it will be choppy out on the bay and inland waters. The rain chances are going to be great all the way through Thursday with a 60 to 70% chance of rain. We're going to keep our temperatures in the 80s because we're going to see plenty of cloud cover. The rains will also help to cool us off. But by next weekend, things should start to look great again. Jacqueline?